Missed that one.
What was that? Can you repeat that?
1 being not excited at all, and 5 being very excited.
Okay. I would say for the lending side of things, I'm probably a 2 or a 3.
And reason being?
Reason being, if you're using one, and I'm sorry, I'm just an odd thinker. If you're using one of those products, that already tells me that you're banked, because they require a banking relationship to be able to push funds and to pull funds, number one. Number two, I just find that a lot of times people don't shit where they eat when it comes to lending, and so they tend to borrow in one place, and they don't want to have their eggs there. Their concern is if they don't end up paying their loan, well, then maybe you could actually get to their funds. So you see that a lot in this space that, as an example, there are some check cashers that also offer lending. What they find is that rarely do they overlap one with the other. It's sort of self-selection. The customer does that. I also think that depending on the type of lending, there are some, not all, from a consumer advocate and from a regulatory point of view, some of the lending products are not always looked at in the highest esteem, and you might get just sort of thrown out with the rubbish, and you might get blacklisted or painted in less than the most flattering way because of who you could potentially align yourself with.
Okay. Great to know. And when you say who we could align ourselves with, any examples there? As in, I'm just wondering in terms of the underserved. Are there particular?
I think that I don't follow the lending side all that much, but that said, I've heard some really nice things about a firm. I was trying to do something with them some time ago. They tend to work with more millennials and younger people, which is an interesting twist on things. So if I were to be looking in the lending world and I wanted access to not necessarily the traditional unbanked or underbanked because of being low to moderate income, but more so just being new to being more of a millennial and new to banking, and just not having a need for a traditional brick and mortar bank, then I would be looking to one of those. And that's just an interesting distinction. What they've found in terms of with millennials and younger people is that not that they don't want a bank account, it's just they don't need the brick and mortar that they had, and they're not interested in a traditional bank account, and they are more open to downloading an app and engaging in a new sort of financial product just by reading about it, reading reviews, downloading and getting up and running. And so that's always an area that I would be focusing on now, is that you just find a group that does not that there isn't a huge barrier to entry there, and there isn't a huge hurdle an inertia that you need to get over to get someone to come on board. They're open to it. And usually, if you have a strong social media program, you can get to them through that at a low cost, just through with trendsetters.
Great. So next one would be re-commerce, and I know this is a slightly different market, but just thinking about it as an opportunity for potentially collateral, income generation and the like. So a slightly different market, but any thoughts on re-commerce? And that being
e-commerce?
Re-commerce, i.e. selling secondhand goods as a income generation source for this population.
I never really thought about it.
Okay. No worries.
That never occurred to me. I personally just think that I don't necessarily think that is a way to go. I just don't think that the customer associates that with and says, well, when I'm out buying secondhand